What's going on? It's your boy Smitty. It is Saturday Night Live. Wow, I got two people in here already. Woo! So, I don't know if any of you have all dabbled in transmission work and stuff like that, but there's some days that just everything you do fights you and you get so damn frustrated. It's even worse when you do it, when you have to do it for a living. And you're on a time crunch. You can't just walk away from it and go back another day and finish it. I mean, you got to get it done. So anyway, I finally got the last couple pieces for L to the W's transmission. I had to order a couple, the TCC valve and I ordered a 500 thousandths boost valve. Got everything, all that put back together, and the pump all put back together. And that will probably be the video that comes out tomorrow. But anyway, so how's everybody going? How's everybody week been going? I mean, how was everybody's week? Had a last spur of the moment. I was on here live on Wednesday. What's up, Kenny? I just seen your post up there at the top of the deal. There he is. There's the man of the hour. What's up, Steven? It's our weekly Saturday. I would leave some background noise on, but I'd get copyrighted, I'm sure, so I won't do that. Oh, Lordy. Tired. I still got a bunch of stuff to do. Sometimes I work best when it's dark out. That's kind of weird. Depends on how tired I was through the day and how many naps I took on my day off, so. But I spoke with L to the W here during the week and filled him in, and he and I are both getting really excited. I want to get the thing in, and I think he'll be happy with it. So I know I am with it so far. It's just been a pain in the can. Oh, it's good so far. It's cooled off this weekend, man. I thought it was going to be sunny this weekend, and it was like 54 today, and the breeze was just, my Lord. It was enough to where you didn't want to stand out in it without some kind of jacket or a sweatshirt on or something, because I mean, the wind was just cutting right through you. That's Mother Nature's way of blowing all them stupid oak pollen things off there and blowing them everywhere. They shed the leaves really fast, and then all of a sudden, boom, there comes the little seedlings, and then they fly everywhere and get all over the place. But man, it was up to 6, and then it just dropped back down to 3 again. Hey, whoever's in there, go ahead and do me a favor and smash that like button for me. It helps the videos get out, if you know YouTube any. I'm pretty tickled. I hit 1,400 subscribers, and it keeps climbing pretty fast. I'm so thankful for that. I'm so thankful for you guys sticking with me. How are we doing, Clyde? I guess that's how you say that. I'm sure I butchered that since the way it's spelled. But hello to you too. Anyway, let's see what's been going on in the news. I guess the the big one here lately, they showed our illustrious president getting on the Air Force One. Child. Oh, really? That's cool. Different way. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to butcher it like that. But anyway, yeah, they showed our illustrious president getting on Air Force One and took a pretty good tumble a couple times up the stairs. I thought that was hilarious. Yeah. You know, I didn't get much into comics when I was young. I mean, I kind of wish I would have because I mean they're cool. Now I like what they're doing with the Marvel comics, you know, and doing all the super and making real names Bert. Well, that works too. Obviously, you probably figured out my real name's not Smitty, but that's just what I chose to use because that was a nickname I've had all my life. Smitty or, you know, the other one. But anyhow, yeah, it's just me here tonight. Wife's out working, so I'm at the house, and she's saying that she's had enough of that place she's at, and they've been hosing her pretty bad. She said, "Tonight's the night. I'm done." It's like, oh boy. But anyway, so did any of y'all get your STEMI checks yet? I haven't gotten a refund in so many years. If we get a STEMI check, it's via paper check. Yeah, Stephen, that's a good point, and they put the up till 80. I think it was 88 when they changed, and they moved the logo to the rear of the door. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was because that's when they changed the wheels too. The 88s had the newer style wheel on it. They were still a 5-spoke design, but they had, you know, like the 3 bars versus the 2 bars with the accent in the middle. So if you get your STEMI checks, what you going to spend your STEMI check on? You're going to pay bills, or you're going to put it towards the car fund? Me, I think I'm going to have to use it on bills this time. Last one I used towards car parts. I don't know. We'll have to see how the cookie crumbles. I got some stuff here at the house that really need to get taken care of. Oh, you know, there's a guy at work that super nice guy. He's married and he's got, I don't know if it's 7 or 8 kids, but I mean, holy cow, it ends up being like something like $22,000 that he gets from the government. Seriously? I mean, holy cow. I mean, you could buy a pretty nice, decent used car for that. Buy a hell of a lot of car parts too. Yeah, you know, fortunately, I've got no problem being able to keep up with my mortgage. You know, I'd like to be able to put some extra down, but we're getting ready to probably at the end of the year, I'm going to have to refinance the house. Because when we bought this place, it was considered a second home, and so they charged us more interest rate, which sucked, and they put us on a 5-year arm, which that sucks even more. So when that arm's up coming into this year, I'm going to try to get the house refinanced, and I probably at that time probably see about getting a roof put on this thing, because I think it's the original roof on this house, and it was built in like 2003, I think. So it's about due. Kind of funny things that you want to spend the money on, just life gets in the way and you have to take care of that instead. And it just kind of bites, sometimes you want to say, hey, look, I've waited all my life to do something, and I don't know. But I keep doing this YouTube thing as long as I can. I enjoy the crap out of it, that's for sure. Hey, buddy, what's up? How you doing? Make sure if you haven't already been out there, smash that like button for me if you would. But yeah. So if you joined late, I finally got the last couple of pieces. I put a post out there. I don't know if anybody got it or not, but I put a post out there. Finally got the last couple of pieces I needed for the pump for L to the W 700. Even though it was a reman pump, I checked it. I check it all out and everything else, and it looked fantastic. The only thing that was bad on it really was the TCC valve was leaking. And so I got one of those from Sonex, and while I was at it, I ordered a 500 thousandths boost valve for it. And a pink pressure regulator spring, which is supposed to be better than the white one. That's what they tell you to put in the instructions. So we got that, and I bought some extra of those since I've got a couple other transmissions to work on. So I'm about to the point where I need to thin out my inventory of what I got, because it's not going to be too much longer before I want to do some garage updates, or I guess it would be my shop updates. It's in dire need of some help also. Got to redo some electrical so I can run my welder. I can run my welder on what we got, but the wiring just isn't heavy enough. Plus, I want to get my air conditioning up and going in there for the summer. L to the W's transmission, I have probably three, maybe 4 videos left on it. And then there'll be a video. I'm actually gonna head up and help them put it in, and I want to show you some things on the car while it's running, how the TV valve works, and proper cable adjustment and so on and so forth. Stuff that you should know, but some of you probably do, but it'd be good. I think it'd be good information for the viewers out there. And he really wants me to put it in. He was going to try to get, I think he told me he was going to try to get KY Chevy, but he says it may not be it's too short of a turnaround, which I'm sure. I mean, you have to plan it ahead of time to, get time off from work and stuff like that. Valves in the valve body all the same? No, they are not all the same. Every one of them valves is different, except for, I take that back. The shift valves are different are the same except for one of the shift valves. I don't remember which one it is off the top of my head. I'd have to look it up. Has got an extra valve in it and a spring. But I think if I remember right, the shift valves are the same, but the rest of them are all different. And if you guys decide to follow the Scarlett transmission, the 4L60E I'm building for her, I've got the valve body actually apart on that one right now, and that's what's underneath that trans pan. But we'll show you the modifications. And there were some people that was asked how you block the PWM solenoid or the valve and stuff like that. And the best person I can tell you that has done a lot of those is oh crap, what's his name? Whatever the dude's name is down there in Amarillo, Texas, he does a whole bunch of those, and I'd never done it the way he's done it, and it's stupid simple. Precision transmission. He did it a different way than I've ever done it, and it was so simple I couldn't believe it. But basically, you take the PWM valve out, and you put a check ball on either side of it with the spring in the center, and you shove it back in there, and that's that. I'm like, well, hell, that's simpler than what I remember doing. I think the last one I seen, they actually changed the whole valve. Yeah, I've used Transgos in the past. It all depends on what you prefer. I've used Transgo. I've used Superior. I like their stuff a little bit better than a Transgo, and then I really like the Sonics Power Pack kit. Their Power Pack kit is phenomenal. There's also there's a company out there called Performa Built. Has just come up with billet accumulator pistons that still use a pin. And man, that's like the best of both worlds. It's you don't have to worry about the pinless. Clutch drip arm. I'm not sure what you're talking about on a clutch drip arm, so that would be a no if I don't know what it is. But anyway, they've come up with a new 2.4 servo setup that is slicker than snot. It's like virtually no difference in size versus the stock one, so it doesn't stick way out like the Sonics one does. Now, don't get me wrong, the Sonics one is great pieces, great stuff. Love their stuff. The only problem is with their 2.4 servos, it sticks way out there. And on an F car, that makes things kind of tight because that dude's sticking out there. And they've come up with a new design that has got great surface area, but it's like virtually the same height as the factory servo cover. That's awesome. And then they've come up with those billet servos that got pins in them. And take 2 sealing rings, and so not only does it keep it from rocking, but the pin will help keep it from rocking also, and that you don't have to smack balls in pieces that that plug it up. And I will check out your clutch drip arm. They're not that bad. I mean, for what you get in the kit, it's pretty decent. And I mean, you can find them pretty cheap. I think I bought the last SureCure kit for this 4L60 or 700. I bought it off of Summit, and it wasn't bad at all. And it came with all the billet pinless servos or pinless accumulator pistons, and most all the good stuff that I wanted. You can't get a power pack for a 700. They just don't offer it, but they do offer the SureCure kit for the 4L60 or 700, which has got the upgraded TV valve and a whole bunch of other odds and ends in it. I mean, it's a good kit. What I like about Sonics is they're not necessarily concentrated on barking tires and chirping gears. It's more about refining what's already there from the factory and making it better, and just making it seal better, making it work better, so shifts are firm and tight, and got some pressure upgrades. Like I said, I want to, when I put L to the W's in, I'll show you what I did to get pressures like what I wanted, because I'm going to take my pressure gauge with me so I can operate the TV gable and make sure I'm getting good boost pressure and so on and so forth. By the way, Sonic the restaurant's pretty expensive too. Laugh out loud. Ha ha ha. Yeah, it's whatever you prefer to use. They pretty much get all of them got good kits. I mean, the Transgo Junior Shift kit's a pretty economical way to go. Like I said, I've used all of the different ones, and I like the way the Sonax kit works. That's the reason why I use it. There's some other companies out there that I'm wanting to check out and do some research on. Oh, the one in the picture? No, but I did have one just exactly like that one. The only thing is mine didn't have the turbine wheels on it anymore. It had chrome Krager SS's. Yeah, Roy, I kind of stay away from that 4R70W. That's not one of my favorite transmissions at all. They've got their own little idiosyncrasies to them that I don't know all about it. So, yeah, that I had an 81 Turbo TA. I think I might still have a picture of it here. I loved that car. This kid that I used to work with begged me and begged me and begged me to buy that. He wanted to buy that car, and I eventually sold it to him. And he was a teenager at the time, and he really liked it, and so on and so forth. Well, long story short, he ended up taking his life in it. He ran it into a bridge pillar and destroyed it. What's up, Jerry? Let's see if I can find a picture of that car. You want to see something funny, guys? That's me in the old Western Auto days. When Western Auto was still around. I think I was 18 or 19 then. I don't remember how old it was, but that was an old one. Man, I was an ugly son bitch back then. I still am, but I think I was worse when I was young. Where'd that stinking picture go? Well, crap. Got pictures of my old Corsica. Of Corsica. That was a good car from a teenager. Poor car didn't stand a chance with me driving it. Nice. Although it would, to me, it would have been cooler if it was still a Pontiac engine, even though them 301s weren't that great. Them are all, yep, them are all house pictures. Oh, crap. I thought I still had pictures of that car somewhere. Yeah, Jerry, it didn't get that warm up here today. Oh, wait a minute. Get some more pictures. There it is. And I got several of them. I like never get rid of pictures. Kind of like I never delete crap off my phone either. All right. There is my 81. I had my 81 Turbo TA. It had had a repaint at one time, but I checked that whole car and there was no Bondo in that thing whatsoever. That was one picture that I had of it. Loved that car. That car was almost perfect. And then this one here, that's a buddy of mine's 86 IROC. What did they call that color? Medium Quasar Blue Metallic or something like that. Had gray interior. It was a 5-liter tune port. And that was one of my favorite cars, but that was a buddy of mine's. Then I don't know if you guys actually stay around to the end of my videos, but this was my 82 Trans Am that I had. I bought it over there in Kansas. It was an 82 Trans Am that somebody put the Formula wing on it and the Formula tail lights, and they put the Formula bumpers on it, front and rear. And it actually had the Formula hood on it also. That car was an original 4-speed car. I remember Johnny, my buddy, he and I went out there to Kansas to get it. He followed me back home. That car had the strangest exhaust on it. It actually had split and two. It had like two had two separate mufflers. Of course, when I got it home, that bra was the first thing to come off. And of course, the Pontiacs were good about the headlight motors not working, and that was one of them that didn't work. I also drove it home with a ball joint that about fell out of it. I mean, it was pretty hairy. And there's a side view of it. I loved those wheels. Those wheels looked really good. The early ones that they had, I think, up until 86, and I think 87 is when they changed them. But that car was pretty cool. And you know, you look around in the parts catalogs and stuff like that. This one actually had a Hurst shifter in it. And that's a legitimate Hurst shifter in there. But it had a Super T10 4-speed. And the car really wasn't in too bad a shape. I liked the dashes on the Pontiacs in those years because they were simple. I mean, the later ones weren't that bad either when they went to electronic, but that was just a simple gauge cluster. It worked. But hey, if you're coming in, you're just showing up, make sure to smash that like button for me if you would. I would greatly appreciate it. But yeah, that's I don't have any pictures like that of my my 89 I bought, or 80, yeah, it was an 89 GTA I bought. Yeah. You know, stark comparison. I know we're not really talking apples to apples, but we got a 2021 Cadillac Escalade on the property like Thursday or Friday last week. This thing was loaded to the gills, had the screens on the back of it, the freaking Alcantara leather, a headliner, and all that good jazz. That damn thing had a sticker price of $112,000. I'm like, oh my Lord. That's twice as much as my first house cost. That's ridiculous. But, you know, there's people out there that buy that stuff. Man, I don't know how they afford it. But, yeah, those were great cars. I loved my early cars. Some of them I wish I never would have got rid of. You know, I begged when I was getting ready to go to school when I was 18. Well, actually, I was 17 at the time. My parents decided they wanted to get me a reliable car to go to and from school in. I just wanted to drive my old Bonneville. I had a 69 Pontiac Bonneville and loved that car. That thing was uglier than sin. But man, you could pile half the high school in that dude and then another 6 or 8 bodies in the trunk. And it would still smolder the tires after you get all them people in there. It was great. But they wanted me to have something decent. So, of course, we went to the Chevy dealer down there in Kansas City. We decided to go down there. And, of course, that was when they had the Camaros on the lot and stuff like that. And I tried to talk my parents into letting me do a Camaro or something like that. My dad's like, you got to be smoking something. You ain't getting a Camaro. So I didn't get a Camaro. Instead, I got a Corsica. But it was a nice car. It was at least had a V6 in it. They wouldn't let me buy a 2-door Beretta. It says, no, you're going to get a 4-door. It makes it easier getting out. And, as I got older, I understand why he said 4 doors, because they are easier to get in and out, except these new ones. Man, these new Cadillacs and these smaller cars, man, some dude my size is like stiffing an elephant in a clown car. I mean, you don't fit. And half the time I'm not comfortable in one either. But, that's pretty sad too, because the new Corvette, now I haven't driven a C8 yet, believe it or not. Wait a minute. Yeah, I did do a little bit of work on a C8. It was just a programming for a transmission issue, but like a C7, dude, I am tight in one of those. They are definitely not made for fat people or just big guys like me, whatever you want to call it. That's too bad too, because there's a lot of guys that are bigger that don't fit in these small cars, and they just keep making them smaller. And if you look at the average size of most Americans anymore, we're not small fries, and we got nobody to blame but ourselves, that's for sure. But whatever, we'll see. What other muscle cars have I owned? All right, so the first car I owned was that 69 Bonneville. It had a 428 with a 400 turbo in it. I don't know what gear it had in the back. I think it was some highway gear. It probably had 308s in it or something like that. That car was great. I owned, let's see, what did I have after that? Well, I had the Corsica, and then when I was up in school, I bought a 77 Trans Am. It was yellow with black interior, and I bought it up in Iowa because that's where I went to school. And the Iowa salt and sands and stuff, of course, done its fair share of some rusting around the quarter panels. It was a rough car, and I just bought it because I needed something to work on in school, and the Corsica, of course, was brand new, and it was under warranty, so I didn't have anything ever happen to it. Yeah, the 77, 78s are crazy money these days, for sure. I think I've got a picture of that one, too. And it was, like I said, it was a rough car. But I had a lot of fun in that car. I remember racing my buddy in his 89 IROC, and we got on the highway, and that thing hit third gear, and it just goes zing. And apparently I had broke the shell in it. And that was all she wrote of that one. Let's see. After that one, I'd gone as far as even having the 400 rebuilt in that one because I needed an engine for it. And it was I found one from a buddy of mine that had a spun rod bearing. And so I got an oversized rod bearing and stuck in there. And I ran the crap out of that engine for, probably 10 or 12,000 miles before that it started getting so bad I had to do something with it. So I actually had that one rebuilt. And oh, crap. I don't know what I did with it. Oh, wait a minute. There it is. All right. This is at my apartment complex that I lived up in Iowa. The Lincoln was my mom and dad's. Um, the sliding door that was at the trunk lid, that was where my apartment was. That's a picture of my Corsica that in front of that, and then the 77 Trans Am that I bought was in front of that. And like I said, that car was a blast. But anyway, so I bought that one and decided that when I finally got the title for the Corsica, I traded that in on the 81 Turbo TA, and it was an even swap. So I don't know who got screwed on that one, but the TA was just so nice. It really was. So I ended up selling it. I bought the excuse me. I got the 81 Turbo TA. Had that for a little while. And then I sold it and bought the 82 TA. Sold the 77. And I ended up buying an 89 a 91 Formula Firebird. It was on I was on a test drive, and it was such a nice car. It still was a nice car when I got done, but anyway, I was coming back from the test drive in this parking lot and rounded the corner of these row of cars, and they had the concrete base of one of those big light poles was still there, but it wasn't marked. So I rounded this line of cars that they had parked in line with that dude, didn't see that concrete deal, and I smacked that sumbitch just cleaner than crap. Oh, I was so mad. Bent the wheel out and screwed up the front fender, and I was just devastated. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I just did that. Well, I ended up making a good deal with the guy anyway, and I bought it because I liked it and I was going to buy it anyway. So I ordered a new fender from GM, and luckily it wasn't damaged too bad, where all I had to do was tighten up the tie rod and it brought the toe back in. And I drove that car for quite a few years. I think I started working at got my first dealership job in 97. I still had the car. A couple years later, I bought let's see, wait a minute. Let me think about this. I was there about a year, and I was living in an apartment in one of my places, and driving one of them F cars in the winter in the snow is an act of Congress. I mean, even if you got posse or anything like that, you're sliding all over the place trying to get anywhere. It don't matter how much weight you put in the back. I mean, they're kind of like a sled. Mustangs are even worse. So I decided I wanted to get something a little more economical. So one of the techs I worked with up there, he says, man, I'd like to have that car. He says, well, you want to buy it? He says, you go, sure. So we made a deal, and he bought it. And I bought a brand new 98 Z24 Crapelier. And it was purple, and I loved it. It was just a really cool purple. It was better purple than what came on the Camaros in the earlier years, like the 92s. And that car was great. In fact, Jerry said he's in Indiana. We actually, me and a buddy, we took this Cavalier on a road trip when we went to Evansville, Indiana for a car show. It was put on by My Classic Cars, the guy with the mustache that does the twirlies on there. That thing got fantastic gas mileage. But shortly after that, I got approved to buy a house. So I bought my first house, which was closer to work. And I found out real quick that I needed a pickup truck. Somewhere in there, I had an El Camino, 85 El Camino I bought. Where was that? Anyway. But I had an El Camino, and I forgot to tell you about the El Camino. Man, that thing was a blast. I think I was still living in an apartment at the time, but I made a deal with a guy who had an 85 El Camino with original V6 in it, and it was hammering. God, I remember having that thing at the apartment. Anyway, I bought the thing and kept it at my buddy's house. And I immediately took the 5-liter or the V6 out of it. Had a 4.3 in it. Took that out and I bought I got a 350. Had a place down in Kansas City do a bunch of machine work for me called G&G Machine. I had it line honed, board 30 over, put some good Hypertectics in it, put a comp cams roller in it. It was one of their extreme energy cams. It was like 230, 236 at 50, 510, 520 lift. It was a monster cam. And I did a little bowl work on some old Vortec heads. Well, they're not actual Vortex. They didn't have the Vortec heads back then. Oh yeah, they did. But they were the early model. They weren't the actual Vortec like off the truck. They called them just small chamber heads. And I did that extreme energy. And mind you, the pistons that I put in this thing were just flat tops. They were made to be about 10-1 with, which is a little stout on iron heads, but I ran it anyway and, put a wine stealth on there with it was a Carter AFB, but it was actually bigger than what I should have put. I put a 750 on it and I should have put a 600 on it, but that's here nor there. But anyway, so this thing had stupid amounts of torque. I mean, you barely touched the gas and you were lighting the back end of it. It was crazy. But man, did it sound good, and it ran good. I just think of what that car would have been like with a good set of good flowing aluminum heads, how much better that thing would have ran, because I know it was getting choked out. But anyway, I had that for a while, and when I bought my house, I needed a real truck, so I bought I traded. What did I do? I traded my my 98 Cavalier in on a trade-in that we'd got. We got a 87 GMC trade-in. Beautiful truck. Man, that thing was beautiful. Interior was beautiful on it. The whole truck was just awesome. It was an 87 GMC two-wheel drive long bed, 305 with a 700 R4. The thing went almost idle going down the highway. It was ridiculous. So, of course, I had to change all that. I went from it had a 273 in the back end. I changed it to a 373. And then I took the engine out of the El Camino. I sold the body of the El Camino, and I sold the transmission to a buddy of mine that had a 350 turbo in it. And I sold it to a buddy of mine, and I kept the engine, and I decammed it a little bit so I could leave the fuel injection on the GMC, and ran it in that pickup. And it still had tons of torque and ran great. Oh my God, that truck ran great. But then, let's see, a couple years later, I was working part-time for a buddy. I bought a 96 Grand Am white with a blown-up motor. Bought a cheap used core, put it together, put it in the car, and drove that car for quite a few years. I think I'd put 100,000 miles on it. No, that wasn't that much. I put about 60,000 miles on it. And at the same time, I had a 2001 Z24. But anyway, then somewhere in there came along the 89 GTA that I bought that I didn't tell the wife about. That was a bad idea. It ended up, she was so pissed when she found out that I'd bought this GTA. And what's worse is I hid it from her, which guys don't do that. That's not a good idea. Not a good idea. Thing is, I didn't get married until I was 30. So I was used to being by myself and used to doing things on my own. And then my wife came along, and so they say all's history. But that was when I'd got rid of all my hot rods and stuff like that when we started, when we got married. I was like, oh, I'm not going to have time for this anymore. And I didn't. And now getting the hot rod back has been a struggle because, you know how that goes. So anyway, I've got my Camaros out there. One of these days I'll be able to get to do something with them. So now that I've bored y'all listening to me ramble about that stuff, how about you all? 700 R4 stator shaft. Well, yeah, you could freeze it. I mean, that's worked. Yeah, you could freeze the shaft and put it in that way, but obviously my thoughts on that is to do it in an arbor press, or just a shop press, something that you can make sure that the two surfaces are completely flat. Because, man, if you get that thing in there cockeyed, it's gonna bust it pretty good. Most of the time when I get one, it'll have the stator shaft in it. Yeah, and that's kind of what I was getting at, Roy. It is somewhat easier and usually cheaper to buy a reman one already done up. Yeah, I mean, just like, in this video coming up tomorrow I hope to get it done. My camera went dead again, so I got to go finish this last little bit of this video up. But I got one that I'm doing on the pump, and that's how I put that converter bushing in, is in a press, because that way everything's good and flat and nice and straight, and oh good Lord, excuse me, the bushing won't cock in there. Oh, that car is fantastic, the Grand National. But I'm going to tell you, the fish tank in the corner, that's not a fish tank, Stephen. Believe it or not, that is a china cabinet. That is a china cabinet. It's got all my wife's crystal in it. She's got a lot of antique furniture that came from her mom. In fact, there's one sitting here in this other corner. Right there. There's another one that's got china in it and stuff like that. As you guys vibrate as the thing skips across the desk. Yeah, there's one thing about this house is it doesn't have a whole lot of light in it. You know where, let's see. Can't get ignition key to turn on an IROC. Pulled the wheel and tried new cylinder, but won't turn. Could be need a new column. No, but I'm going to tell you probably what's happened is the rack broke. There's on those old tilt deals, they've got see if I can draw a quick picture. This is going to be primitive and it'll look probably like crap, but this thing, I'm drawing a picture here. This is, like I said, this is going to be primitive. Anyway, there'll be a piece in there that looks kind of like that right there. And what that is that's a rack. And them early ones, they had a gear on the back side of the lock cylinder, and that rack would break, and then it would bind. And then half the time you couldn't get it to operate because that rack operates the rod that goes down to your ignition switch, which is actually down on the base of it's actually up on top of the base of the steering column. So more than likely that rack's broke in there, and that's what you're fighting. Yeah, you wouldn't like it down here in Florida if you don't like high temperatures, because not necessarily the high temperatures. I'm going to tell you, down here, I don't think since I've been down here, it's been over 100 degrees. But the humidity down here, holy shnikes. I mean, when I lived up in Missouri, it would get hot where we were at, and it would get in the hundreds, just stupid hot. And I think what saves us down here is because, you know, we've got two coasts not far away from each other that you know, you can get the ocean breeze off of that somewhat cools it down, but man, it's nasty. Oh, you bet. Those, like I said, that's pretty common for those columns. Yeah, I know where Lancaster is. Yeah, I don't know where you're getting the news from. I don't know that that's necessarily true. You know, with everything with the Dems controlling the media and stuff like that, what you're going to get is what they want you to hear. It may not be the truth. I can tell you that Florida has done extremely well with this whole thing. Yeah, especially from NBC, ABC, CNN, CBS. Man, I don't even watch that news anymore. I really don't. There's only a few places that I'll try to get some news from if I can, and one of them is Newsmax, the Epic Times, and Blaze TV is pretty good. You get there's so much crap that they want you to believe their narrative. Guys, I can't get into politics. I really can't, because it's just going to get me all riled up. I don't want to be riled up. I'm just thinking about my dad. If he was alive right now, he'd be having a fit. That's all I can say. Woo. Leave Arizona and head back to Michigan. That's a shock to the system there. I got a good friend that I've known her for, oh man, it's been close to 25 years I've known her, and she lives up in Michigan. I haven't been able to get up there and see her forever. I don't know how the wife would think of that. But she's a super great friend. Yes, everything is super crazy, super crazy. I just hope everybody man, oh, you got to use your head when you're listening to what these people are saying. You really have to. You have to use your head. Common sense will get you farther in this world than anything in life. If it doesn't sound right, more than likely it's probably not. So just like the deal with the COVID, COVID's been around for years. This is just a different strand of COVID. It has a 99% survival rate, even if you get it. It's not that big a deal. I mean, people can die from the flu or complications of the flu. They can die from pneumonia or complications from pneumonia. There's just the COVID thing just drives me batty, and these damn face diapers. It's just stupid. Blizzard. Late March and you're getting a blizzard? Yeah. Yeah, I would definitely agree to that. Absolutely, Roy. That's what the wife and I said the same. We just live our life. I personally don't believe in the vaccine. Why are they pushing it so hard? Think about that. Why are they pushing this COVID vaccine so hard when they haven't pushed the flu vaccine? I have never seen anybody try to push this COVID vaccine so hard. Something doesn't smell right. I mean, it leaves off the worst case of freaking dog crap I've ever smelled. I just yeah. It just doesn't smell right. And there's a lot of Americans, I wonder if they're actually, it cracks me up. Did you all see the deal? God, I'm still on this politics thing, but did you all see when the freaking Hagatha witch got her freaking vaccine shot? They still had the damn cap on the syringe, and they showed it all over the news and the internet and everything else. That was funny. She didn't actually get that. And who's to say that they're shots that the higher ups got weren't just a placebo or something like that, wasn't actually the vaccine. Come on, something stinks here. I mean, something stinks bad, especially when especially when Gates had some sort of part in it. Just there's too many rich elites that have their finger in the pie, and we're the ones at the bottom of the garbage can, so to speak. And I'm just hoping that a lot of Americans wake up and smell it and they say, hey, look, this ain't right. I was just watching the deal from Epic Times last night, and they're saying that the background checks for gun sales is through the roof. Yeah. Jerry, I can't agree with you more. I mean, but I'm not going to take that chance. I mean, I can't do it. But outright evil that's in our White House right now. Borg Warner's made clutches for years. I've used them in other stuff. The last clutch I had one custom made. That was before they were doing the twin disc and stuff like that. And I had one made for that T5 that I put in my 82. It was a company that was downtown Kansas City that made a custom for me. And it was a material called Fiber Tough on one side and Kevlar on the other. The Fiber Tough was like a puck style, but the other side was Kevlar to make for a smooth engagement. And it did okay. It chattered a little bit, but that clutch never slipped. But I didn't have enough power to make it slip back then, It seems like in the past, couple years, of course, when they come up with the LS, I mean, that was like the holy grail of everything. The rest of it followed suit. They had to have twin disc clutches to be able to hold the power. That factory, what was that? LT1 car, LT1 Camaro that I had not long ago that, it was last year, came in with an air conditioning in the block. And that was one that you have to drop the whole drivetrain out the bottom to get it out because of the manual. There's no easy way to do it otherwise, which it's not bad to get one of those out. I mean, I've done a few of them now that's not been that bad. But it had a factory twin disc clutch in it also. So are you talking about Borg Warner automatic clutches or Borg Warner manual clutches? I guess I misunderstood what you were asking about, but as far as Borg Warner clutches for automatics, they are the factory clutch option. When you get factory fibers for an automatic for one of your transmissions you're working on, they are Borg Warner clutches. I like Raybestos because of they make a step up in their material, just like L to the W's is getting the Raybestos blue clutches, which are a step up from the factory ones. Made to handle the power a little bit better. And Ray Bestis they've got Z packs for the 6L80, and I think they've got some for the 8L90. I think, but the 8L90 uses a whole different clutch setup. They use most of the clutches in that transmission are kind of like hockey puck looking deals that are just glued on the surface. So they're a little bit different altogether. Well, I mean, Borg Warner makes manual transmissions too. I appreciate that, Jerry. I try my best. Yeah, I mean, I've seen the Borg Warners made in heavier applications also. I mean, I'd like to be able to get one of them to pick me up as a sponsor, but I don't think that's going to happen. That's only dreams, you know. But you got to have dreams. You got to have dreams in this world. I think it's the only thing that keeps you pushing forward. But anyway, I've had quite a few more people in here tonight than I usually get. It's growing a little bit. I think I've seen it as high as 11. That's pretty impressive. I know it's just a ramble session basically for me, unless you guys ask questions and stuff like that. I don't know. I can talk just about anything. On that note, I will be right back. I've got to get something to drink. Singing in the rain, I'm singing in the rain. Here's your time. Frisky morning. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, there's one behind me, and then there's one over there on the couch. There's another one on the pallet right in front of this buffet right here. There's a pallet on the floor. You can see just the corner of it, but she's crashed on that one back there. And then Buster is on the couch right behind me. And the other two dogs, I think, are laying in front of the couch. Yep, they're pretty zonked this time of night. But anywho, so yes, it is. I love movies, and of course, I guess DVDs are outdated anymore, and nobody buys them. And I still buy them, and occasionally, and when they're in the dollar pile at Walmart or something like that. I think that is the wife. Just let her know I might still be here. No. Hell no. It's 9 o'clock. It's way too late to cook. She's not gonna want anything. I would cook, but like I said, she's so picky, and this is late at night, so she won't know what to eat. I guess last night when she got home, I was already cooked and I was in bed. I guess her dinner last night consisted of a bowl of cereal. Oh, the separator plate? Yes. Usually I do. I think she misunderstood me. I told her, I says, see you when you get home. Might still be live when you get here. I think she took that as being live physically. That's funny. But yeah, I usually, if the instructions call for it, yeah, I drill the separator plate. Yeah, she just answered. She goes, "Oh," so she didn't. She thought meant live as in still breathing. Well, I hope I'm still breathing when she gets here. You know, only good Lord knows when it's my time to go. It depends on whether or not he's got my apartment in the sky ready yet. Apparently, my job here on Earth is not done yet, so I will do that, hybrid. I will check that out. Apparently, I don't get your notifications, so I don't know if I'm set up right on yours or not. Let me go to. Oops, that's not what I wanted. Let's go to my channel. Good Lord, I got 89 people that I subscribe to. There you are. Hybrid Muscle Garage. Yeah, all notifications are on. A clutch drip, huh? That'd be all fine and dandy, but I don't have my welder set up, and I don't have a TIG welder yet. I'm going to get one of these days, I'm going to tell you. Damn, is that your that's your 91 or 92 that's on there? That gray one with the gray stripes? I think it's pretty badass if it is. I like the 70 that's on there too, or 72, whatever year that is. But building transmissions can make guys. You're not lying. I mean, I was fighting just tonight. This I was putting L to the W's together. Nice. I was putting this pump together, and if most of the time the later model ones just use one spring on the pump. Well, this one's got actually two, and I think with that inner spring on there, man, it just makes it more of a pain in the butt to get that pump in the slide. And I was fighting that thing, man. It was just kicking my butt, and I finally got that dude in there. But I was like, "Good Lord!" I says I couldn't get the thing to do what I wanted to. Oh, I just want to get my third gen running, y'all. That's all there is to it. I think with my, I think that's what I'm going to use with my STEMI check. Is I think I'm going to go try to get this car legal, or at least get the title on my name so I can feel like I can actually work on it. I'm just anxious to get it going. I don't want to not do what I want to plan to do. I want to be able to, I want to clean out the engine compartment, and I want to make my own set of hey, there he is. There's the man of the hour right there. Hey guys, L to the W's in the house. Do me a favor while you're here. Go check out his page and give him a like and a subscribe if you would, as he's trying to rebuild his channel. So, but yeah, I'd really like to get mine licensed. So I want to get the engine compartment cleaned up. I want to make my own heater hose lines that run along that right frame rail, so they look all nice and neat, and kind of like the new stuff does. The new stuff, they make the lines to where the hoses will come up, and then they'll make like a 90-degree into the heater core. And I want to put a heater core in it while I got all that stuff out, because it's a whole lot easier to get to all the bolts that you need to get to from the firewall side to do that heater core before you put the engine in. Now you can do it I've done it both ways. So, I mean, it can be done, but why not do it now before all that stuff goes in? Yeah, I did see that. I did see it, and I'm anxious for you to get it back going up. I mean, that's pretty cool. It sure took them long enough to do anything with it, though. I can tell you that. But yeah, I want to paint the engine compartment and everything else. Get that nice, looks nice, and because I want to be able to show the car. I can't give away all the details of things I want to do. That'd spoil it, but clean up some wiring. Because everybody's been in there and kind of hacking butch things. So get all that straightened out. But again, I don't want to take the car apart until I get, all the title work done. So anyway. One of these days I'm going to get a better webcam too. Because I know this webcam on this monitor is not the greatest. I mean, it works, but I'm not completely tech savvy enough to figure out how to make it better. I mean, I can build computers all day long, but I'll get there. Yeah, I'm hoping not. Problem is I think I think I got a bill of sale from him, but I sure as hell can't find it. I mean, I've got the title and I've got that kind of stuff, and it's been signed, so I don't know how big a deal it's going to be, and I guess we'll find out one of these days. Because it'd be a shame to not do anything with it because it doesn't have a title. I'd have to file with it somehow. Jerry, I wish we had a decent salvage yard down here. The only thing that we got for a pick and pull is LKQ. And the last time I was in there, they wanted to rip me off something fierce. I went in there and they actually had a third gen that was a tune port. And I was going to I grabbed the upper plenum and throttle body because it was in a little better shape than the one I've got. And when I got up there, the gal wanted to charge me, I think she said like 35 for the upper intake, 45 for the throttle body, and like 20 because it had the intake air temperature sensor in it. I was like, you got to be crazy. That's $90 for that. I wasn't about to give $90. You can buy the whole dang tune port setup on Marketplace for like $100. Runners, lower intake, the whole 9 yards. Why would I give $90 just for that? I was so mad because I spent the time to take it off and then they wanted to rip you off. I was so mad. That's what's kept me from going back there. Yeah, I really wish Florida had some better ones because the one thing that's nice about Florida, most of the cars you get down here are like rust free, and it just like I got so many things that are just kind of falling apart that I need to get after, but I really don't have any place to do it. Just like my pickup's going to need a cab before too long. It's the rocker panels, the inner and outer rocker panels are gone on it, and the cab corners are fast deteriorating. And by the time I get to it, it's going to need a whole cab, and probably the same thing with the bed. The frame can be, cleaned and repowder coated, and it'd be just fine. I'd like to be able to do that to where I could take it apart, but I don't have the resources. I mean, I guess I could do it at work. They'd let me take it apart at work, I'm sure, but I don't want to leave it tied up there at work and then have something disappear. And then when I get ready to put it back together, it won't go, because somebody's decided they needed it worse than I did. So my goal is to eventually build a shop out back in my house here. I'd like to build like a 60 by 80. I think that would be the perfect size. Be enough that I could put my camper in it out of the weather. And I've got a enclosed trailer I could stick in there out of the weather. I think the boat we got, we're just decided we're going to sell. I'm going to try to clean it up and sell it. It's been sitting outside. It still runs. I mean, fiberglass is in good shape. It'd go down the water with no problem. It's just everything's faded in it from we never had a cover for it. And we don't have time to do anything with it anymore. We can always get another one later down the road. But I really just want someplace to be able to work so I can have a lift in it and What'd really be cool is to get one that whenever I build the building is to be able to have a one of those overhead crane deals. That would be sweet. You know, be like on a big rolling chassis that I could go, either direction. Does that make light work of picking a bed off of a truck, or picking an engine out of the back of a truck, or I just drag that over there and winch it up and be good to go. Really, apple cider vinegar and rust. I want to do one of those soda bath tanks. Yeah, forklift would definitely be cool. Um, but you get one of those overhead crane deals. I mean, that dude will roll on a couple of beams, and you could roll it in a bunch of different spots, depending on how long you make the beam. I think there's a limit to how long you can make that beam that it rolls on, just because of structural integrity. But make it strong enough you could pick up quite a few things. That would be ideal, and get a vision and be able to make it so I actually have it'd be like a mezzanine or a second floor. It'd be 2 stories. The up one would be like I could make an apartment or an office for doing this stuff or recording, so on and so forth. Or if somebody came to visit and they wanted to be away from the house, they'd have someplace they could stay up there. See you later, Jerry. Have a good night, buddy. And then on the underside would be where the back actual, workshop would be, but it'd have bifolding doors that you could close off that area if you wanted to, and just heat or cool that area. Because I would have to put HVAC in it for sure. I'd want it to be climate controlled. I'd probably check into running solar on top of it too, as a supplement, so it doesn't cost so much to cool the shop off. If you got solar, it would help. So, at any rate, so what else is up with you guys? Anything? We've been here about an hour and a half. Have I talked you all to death, or you just come on here to listen to me ramble about just about everything? Well, usually that's the other way around, Steven. Usually the dog's supposed to chase you. Anyway. Well, I think this is a good, I really think this is a good stopping point for the night. I sure appreciate everybody that's come in again for this weekly session. I hope to see you all next week. Be paying attention. I'm going to try to get this video edited and up for tomorrow's upload around noon Eastern time. But yeah, I sure appreciate everybody. We'll talk to you later. Take care of yourself. Take care of each other. God bless you. God bless America. We'll see you next time. Bye bye.